You're tuned into the It's Real podcast with your hosts, Kayla and Andrew Yagi. Each week, we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes working full-time in real estate and share with you real-life stories, our successes and failures as we work to help consumers and industry professionals reach their real estate and real-life goals. Here we go.
Episode 108. I'm Kayla. I'm a lender. How's it going, Andy?
Hey, I'm doing really good, Kayla. It's nice to see summer weather among us. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day.
Isn't it like kind of a shock to the system a little bit? It's like at night, it's like I don't need a jacket. Or you go outside and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not freezing. I don't know if it was because May was so chilly, it wasn't this warm. It to me, it feels like a shock.
Right. I don't know. I'm a little bit more partial to cooler weather, but it is nice. I mean, it's nice when the days are longer, the sun's out, everybody's in a better mood, which, like we've talked, you go down to Arizona and it just seems like people are generally happier because the weather's nicer.
It's amazing what some vitamin D can do, I think about my dogs too. They're cooped up in the winter and they don't want to go outside at all. I don't blame them. And then it's like, oh my gosh, like they come alive, they get energy, they get exercise, we go to the lake. It's just so much better.
Right on.
I'll take it.
So it's been a little bit since we've connected because, hey, things have been probably kind of gangbusters for both of us in many different ways. What's new with Kayla?
What's new? Well, we're, rounding out probably the biggest month, I feel like, in terms of like activity. I mean, think about it. I think we talked about this before, from, graduations and Mother's Day, and it's like school is ending. I'm sure your family's experiencing the summer excitement, right? So I feel like we're kind of just coming off of May. It's been kind of wild and crazy. We just went to Carrington, North Dakota, to see my niece graduate. And it's just fun to go to graduations, and it's you kind of go back, right?
Yep.
And she's coming down to Fargo for hair school to T-Spa. So yeah, it's kind of fun to see that, and just helps you like reminisce. Like, remember when you were 18, Andy?
I remember very well, very, very well. It seems like yesterday, but
I know.
A long time ago.
What a time. But, it's such a fun time of year. I think everyone, like you said, is in a better mood. So yeah, just a lot of activity, and we're kind of just now getting into lake season. We got our boat in, we got kind of some things taken care of. So we're like officially ready to enjoy the lake, as long as we can get down there. So what about you? What's going on with you, the girls?
Yeah, well, it's the last week of school for them. So a lot of end of the year activities. So trying to juggle those and take part, which is kind of fun. I think my wife's getting a little bit stressed about kind of summer with them and activities and keeping everybody occupied and not fighting with each other. You know how siblings are, having a school of siblings yourself. But no, things have been good. Did a little Memorial Day travel. I was actually on a flying trip, so I was kind of all over the place out east, and so that was kind of fun. And yeah, the real estate market, just getting a lot of different calls. We're listing quite a number of properties, have a number of buyers that are really coming out of the woodwork, people that are looking to make a move, whether it's for a primary residence or more and more lakeshore now coming into the fold too, which makes sense. It's kind of the busy time. But kind of interesting though too, Kayla. I feel like things have been kind of touch and go through the year, and we've had some real busy times. But I kind of feel like the market a little bit is kind of starting to show a few cracks and a little bit of stress. How about you?
Tell me more about these cracks. What are you? I mean, I will say I'm seeing a lot of emotion in real estate. I always go back to that conversation you had where you're like, I worked in funeral service, and seeing how people are in real estate, it really is emotional, but I'm seeing it more and more from I want to get the best deal, and the best deal means saving $300 on the house, to I'm not budging on this, to rates are all over the place, to that's what closing costs are. People just seem a little bit more heightened. Maybe it's just my clients that I've dealt with in the last month or so, but I'm just seeing a lot of emotions in real estate. I'm seeing applications have kind of backed off slightly, and I'm seeing more people get into contract. So that's what I'm experiencing as a lender in Fargo. But tell me more about these cracks.
Well, you tell me first, those that are getting into contract, are they getting good deals? Are you seeing things go over ask? Are they, getting concessions from
Yeah.
sellers? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot of new builds. So the new builds, you'll see some builder concessions sometimes. The ones with existing homes, I'm seeing a few that have had some inspection conversations and who pays for what. And that's been kind of a point of contention between people. But I am still seeing seller concessions. I had one yesterday. They asked, how much do we need? And I told them they need, $7,000, let's say it was, for concessions. And they said, well, we're the only offer. I think we can get it. So it truly depends on the house, any other offers, but I'm still seeing them come through.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I would say looking at the market, I mean, okay, so I'm more heavy on the listing side, so kind of the opposite of you. And again, in the last month, we've seen some super desirable homes that have gone multiple offers, well over asking price. I mean, like rates were 2 to 3%. And then I'm just starting to see, especially homes like in our market that are $350,000 plus, the showings really taper off, and even some that are above that. Not that there aren't buyers for them, but I think a lot of move-up buyers or a lot of the individuals who are buying in that price point, they're hanging tight a little bit, and they're like, okay, we're trying to make sense of the market. We're trying to make sense of rates. Kayla, I came across the article on Realtor.com just the other day where it talked about rates have really hit a 9-month high, which again, it's a tenth to a hundredth of points. So it's not like it's some catastrophic shift, but nonetheless, I think people are kind of trying to weigh that, like you say, when people talk about rates. And I think also people are kind of weighing their personal financial situation, as it pertains to their goals. Energy prices are, starting to trickle down to every area of our life, whether you go to the coffee shop, whether you go to the gas station. I've got a friend that owns a gas station, Kayla. They've got a ton of hot food. He said, boy, they're really struggling right now. No one's coming inside, to buy any of the items where they really make money. They're paying at the pump, they're leaving. So I look at, some things like that. I think a lot of people are we've talked in the past how 7 in 10 households are living paycheck to paycheck. I think that's putting more stress on those households, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was even 8 households now, just as things are kind of shifting. So I think that's going to have a little bit of an effect, and again, another article talked about, listing prices falling. We've seen some homes that we've had to take price cuts on, and not that there's anything wrong with the home, not that, it's really priced poorly, but again, I think buyers are maybe a little bit confused, or like that article says, maybe even a little bit spooked.
I see it too. I have this client. They've been wanting to buy for, I want to say it's been 2 years now. And she and I spoke quite a bit last week. In fact, I finally just said, can we hop on a call? Because she sends us a house, we tell her the payment. She sends us the house, we tell her the payment. And it's been happening for years. And it's like she wants a cheaper payment, but she wants the nicer house. And finally, I got on a call with her and I just said, okay, here's what happens when you do buy. Here's what happens to, generational wealth, building generational wealth. And she goes, Kayla, it's just me. I don't have anybody. I don't care about generational wealth. And I said, okay, well, fair enough. And I said, well, tell me this, she has a dog. And I'm like, how do you feel about your dog being in the apartment? She's like, I hate it. And I said, okay, sometimes it comes down to, what do you need in life? What do you want out of this life? What are you willing to spend the money on? And she ended up tearing up and she's like, I'm just scared of change. I've been in this apartment for 20 years. I've been at this job for 20 years. I'm scared of change. And I think for some people, especially someone like her, a single woman, I think that there's a lot of emotions involved as well. And some people aren't talking about that. I think about, okay, what if the furnace goes out? What about this? And I think that I see a lot of people that can barely afford the home inspection. and the appraisal, and that's $1,000. And then we're squeezing out money at closing. Obviously that's going to make people nervous. But I think having the right conversations with the right people, I told this girl, I'm like, listen, maybe home ownership isn't for you, but let's talk through it. And I think a lot of people, Andy, aren't having the conversations. I think they're assuming. And they're assuming they shouldn't buy, or they should buy, or that rates need to be at 5% because their dad said that's what makes the most sense. And I think until someone sits down with the right people and they say, here's my situation, here's what I want to afford, I think that people are just relying on the internet and ChatGPT and their dad. That's at least in my experience what I'm seeing. And I think that just causes confusion with people.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm seeing that too. We sat down virtually with a couple that's planning on moving to the area from out of state, and they came to us online, and so we had some good time to connect. And hey, we just want to go see houses. Like, this house checks all the boxes. Well, with their particular financing, which was through a national bank as well, that historically maybe doesn't like some of the more rural communities around us. Worried about the lender, number one. Number two, by sitting down and having that conversation, that particular house doesn't qualify for their financing and isn't an option. All the while, again, we talk about goals. In their case, they want to get here and not sure where they want to live or work, but they need a house. And I said, well, maybe rent. Well, I think they might have to come live with you, Kayla, because they've got 9 animals. So they're it's a little bit challenging to find a place to live when you have of animals. So,
well, and when you're relocating, there are options where you can purchase a home before you start your job, but there are certain requirements around them, not being contingent on items in the contract. Depending on the program, it might have to be salary or fixed. There's so many things. And I think I've seen a lot of people that try to get the house first. And although that would be nice to just get here, that's an example of a tough situation. What do you do? Like, how can you get here, get settled in, get a job, and then start looking? I think that's when I see things kind of crack and fall apart, is they're trying to do all this at once, but the financing doesn't allow this, and you can and can't do this. And how do you look for a home when you're not here? It's a lot of like balls in the air. And I see a lot of that lately, a lot of future income people. But yeah, what are they going to do? Are they going to rent, do you think?
I think they'll end up buying. I think they're well positioned to buy. It's just a matter of where and relative to work. And that's always the scary part. But I guess, it ends up working out one way or another. But, at least they were willing to have a conversation, and, we kind of, answered a lot of questions, learned a little bit more. And it's just such an important process where, we can literally go from being a tour guide and someone not having any success finding anything to, hey, 5 or less homes, we're buying something. It just makes sense. But again, a lot of stubborn people in the market, a lot of people, like you say, using ChatGPT and listening to dad or that well-intentioned uncle, or, hey, when my brother bought a house, he got X, whatever the case.
He got a whatever rate. And then you find out that he's low income. He was doing a USDA loan. He paid $6,000 for the rate. And then you're like, oh, okay. And we still see that. I mean, people say shop the rate, shop lenders. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important that when you talk to anybody about anything that you ask about the price. But I'm still seeing, I've got a girl right now, she's like, this national lender quoted me this. And I said, do you know he's never done a loan in North Dakota, and you're doing new construction with special assessments? And do you know that he did not collect the right amount of taxes and specials? So that's why your fees are lower. And I think she might end up going with this other individual because she's just so laser focused. And so those are the clients that, share their horror stories. And then that also causes emotions in real estate is, well, my friend had this happen. Well, until you peel back the layers of the onion, you don't know what really happened.
Kayla, trying to win people over with fact, logic, and reason, especially in real estate, does not always work. In fact, I would reason that it doesn't work the majority of the time because it's emotional. And, like we've talked, people are generally not logical. Even I know that there are people that haven't listed their home with me, for a variety of reasons, but part of it, I can go, or you can go and sell yourself all day long. You and I can talk about our track record. We can show our success, but fact, logic, and reason does not resonate with most people.
I'm noticing that, and I don't know if it's just a season, but definitely witnessing that on my end of things.
Yeah, it's not a season. It's just how people are engineered, especially when they
It's
have
here to
all of these other factors and these other people, kind of talking in the
Mhm.
background. And just such a mixed message, even
Mhm.
though subconsciously they know they should be coming and talking to you and working with you. There's just, well, and just think about in your own life. Like I think daily sometimes, like, hey, I know I should really be going and spending my time on this right now, or hey, I know I should go take care of this before I do this, but I don't do it. I just disregard it. It's kind of
Mhm.
the same thing.
It's adult ADHD procrastination. I can do something else. You avoid the hard thing.
Yep.
It's like it's anything. But, I think with that comes lessons. And far too often, we say it every time. I'm seeing people that fall in love with a house. I had someone want to buy a house yesterday and couldn't complete the online application because they didn't have an email. And, when we think of speed and urgency, then yeah, we got to go, go, go. How are you going to get us the documents? And my team is in Sioux Falls and I'm in meetings all day. And, it's definitely, you can't help but think, was home ownership on your mind ever? And for her, maybe it wasn't. I still haven't talked to her directly, but it's like, people learn by being burned. And sometimes that's just the best way. So.
Right. So, Kayla, for those that are listening today and, this is resonating with them, as far as like, man, stress, emotion, the market, rates, the price at the pump, all the things, what words of wisdom would you give somebody today?
So many people assume. I'm guilty of it. I assume. It's easy to do. When your friend doesn't text you back, you're like, oh my gosh, are they mad at me? Did I say something? We create narratives in our head. I would say words of wisdom, I would say in general, would be have conversations with the right people. I even have people, Andy, that come to me and they're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford a house. And I'm like, actually, you can afford your budget that you want double. And they're flabbergasted. They're like, what? And it's all about just having conversations. So get in rooms with the right people, reach out, ask for help, don't assume. I would say in any really words of wisdom at any time, I guess. But okay, you have better words of wisdom. Let's hear them.
I don't know that I do, but I would just say in general, Kayla, you're probably closer than you think. I think that's in, so many areas of life, whether it's health and wellness, whether it's something career, buying a home, relationships. I think most people, they stand in their own way. And I think a big piece is just, getting out of your own way and, and taking actionable steps towards your goals. So even today, in terms of housing, Kayla, I look at people who again think that, boy, I can't afford this or I can't, whatever. Even, my wife and I have been talking about building a home and, and we're taking, steps towards that and a plan and, pricing it out. And it's still in a sense like you seem so far away from the goal. And even speaking from someone who works in this realm every day, it can be challenging and stressful. And I think a big part is just, taking the time to work towards that goal. And again, just deciding how important is that goal. Again, you talked about people earlier, like, hey, maybe home ownership isn't the right move. There are some people that are just meant to be renters. And I've had some people in my office and said, can I sell you a house? Yeah, I can sell you a house, but I don't think you should buy one. I think that you should be renting because of X, Y, and Z. So I think ultimately you're closer than you think. If it really is a goal, work towards it, map out a path. It likely is.
I 1,000% agree with that. And it comes down to what's most important. And I'll go back to this girl that, she was afraid to leave her job and she was afraid, but what's important to you? Where do you want to live? Like, do you want a backyard with trees? Do you want, like, what do you want out of your life? And I think that sometimes we in the industry, there's a lot of people that just get online and they just start like, you should buy, you should buy, you should buy. End of the day, it's up to you and you get to decide. But you're right, talk to the right people and you probably are closer than you think. But at least having those conversations allows you to be able to choose your path versus always wondering, like, can I do this? Like, is this in the cards for me?
I've got a question for you, Kayla.
Oh
since
boy.
we're kind of May, we're kind of, graduation time. What
Yeah.
is the youngest person you have ever sold a home to?
I think 19.
Okay. And what
Yeah.
was the story of that individual? I mean, obviously shortly after graduation to some degree.
Actually, I'm helping her buy a house, believe it or not, next month. She came back to me, but she is 19. She was out of high school and she was working in a small town, but had recently graduated, wanted to move out with parents. And yeah, but I don't know if I don't think she was in college. She went to like a year, but she was 19. Yeah,
Cool.
pretty young. What about you?
I think you've got me beat. I think 20 or 21. And again, someone that, went to a little bit of technical school and then ended up getting a job, a pretty solid job. And actually one as well, I'm trying to think. Probably about the same age, but really just did on the job training and, didn't really go to school, but
Mhm.
had a really great job and then turned around and purchased. I always say that I wish I would have known what I know now. And I'm really excited having 3 daughters growing up to kind of see what direction they go. But, just really trying to educate them, especially on investing in real estate. I even look at, and I don't do it quite as much anymore now that my wife kind of isn't working full time outside of the home. She generally will take care of picking the kids up. But I can think of Ella, my oldest, when I would pick her up a few years ago when nobody else was in school. And I would take her places. We'd go to a rental property, or I've taken her on an occasional showing. And, just the questions that come up. Well, Dad, like, why are we in here? We own this house. Well, why do we own this house? Well, why does someone pay us to live in this house? Or why does this person want to buy the house? And so you just, the conversations you have with your kids and you get those wheels turning, like it's
Mhm.
really, really fun, to kind of watch them learn.
Yeah, and I think you look back and reflect, our parents did as well as they could, but they didn't know what they didn't know and they knew what they did. Like, but I think back to 20, 30 years ago and what our parents taught us versus what we know now. Like, and your girls are absorbing everything and it's fun. You should have like a Yeagyisms, things that like your kids say. Like, and like put that on the wall or laminate it, but they say some funny things, but they have curious questions, right? Like
Yep.
they're naturally curious.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
You early in our episode today, you mentioned vitamin D tied to sun, but it made something click in my mind. It made me think of vitamin C, especially as we talk in the context of graduation. Do you
I
know
knew that.
what when you think of vitamin C? What do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes, I do. Where are we going to be when we turn 25?
The
Keep,
graduation song.
yes, such a classic. Did you play that at your high school graduation? Because we sure
Yeah.
did.
Oh, of course, because it was hot then, and
She must
I
have
think
made a killing off of that.
right. That was like their one hit, though.
Yeah, there's another one about sun, I think, but or
Was there?
something else.
Oh, 1999 it came out, but apparently it was still hot in '05.
Oh, it was. It
Mhm.
was. Yeah. Oh, what a time. What a
Hey,
time.
in maybe to end the episode today, Kayla, I think this would be kind of fun, kind of maybe a little bit more lighthearted, but I came up with some questions. I'm texting these to you as well.
Oh boy.
But I saw somebody post this, and I'm not big on the gimmicky social media, post, repost, answer questions, but I think it would be kind of fun, and I'm kind of curious. Since I met you right around this time, well, I guess a few months after graduation, but so we were both the class of '05, and so
Yeah.
we've
Oh, God.
been done with school a little bit. So quick questions for you. I'm going to
Gosh,
ask
I'm
you.
looking.
Okay, so number one, did you know your spouse in high school?
No, did you?
I did not. What kind of a car did you drive? Year, make,
19,
model.
1988 blue Lincoln town car.
Ooh,
And then I got a Monte Carlo, a green Monte Carlo. Don't know the year. You?
I had like a 2004
Of course
GMC
you did.
Sierra. It belonged to one of my grandparents, and I think I had
Okay.
34,000 miles on it when I got it.
Oh, wow. How did you handle that?
Not as well as you handled the town car, I'm sure.
Yeah, my dad's like, it's so big in the front if you hit a deer. And I'm like, this little girl behind this huge boat. They
Right.
called it SS Corpat, by the way, because my last name was Corpat Nikki. SS Corpat. Ugh,
I love it.
good times.
What kind of a job did you have when you graduated?
I worked at a bank.
Nice.
What about you? Were you in funeral services?
No, I wasn't. Not till I got to college, about a month in. I'd help on the farm, and then I worked in radio. I worked for the radio stations, kind of running boards and kind of
Yeah,
doing some singing. So,
that's
yeah.
cool. It's a
Mhm.
fun job.
Where did you live?
City was Walhalla, North Dakota. Andy?
Thief River Falls for me.
Okay, not too far.
Were you popular?
I don't know. Like, define popular. I graduated with 29 people. I think we were all popular.
Sure. I graduated with 154. I would say I wasn't popular. I wasn't not popular. I guess I got along. I had a lot of different friends in a lot of different groups.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good though.
Question number 6. Were you in choir or band?
I was in both.
What'd you play?
Played the flute and the piccolo when
Nice.
you were
Can
first
you still
chair.
play?
You know, I'm in my head, I can play was it the chromatics? See, I'm even blanking,
Sure.
but I went to music camp for years and years and years, and we played through high school, but I really want to find a flute, and I think I could still play.
Ooh.
So what about you? I know you were.
I was in choir. I was not, well, I was in jazz band, and really just for like playing piano, bells, doing a little miscellaneous percussion. But it would have been fun to be in band, but no, I wasn't.
That surprises me. You play the guitar.
Yeah, I do a little bit of guitar, piano, organ, guitar. That's really about it, but it'd be fun to do more. My girls are learning the violin, so I'm kind of trying to learn the violin too, but we haven't been good about practicing, so we need to
That's
get
okay. It's summer.
right. 7, have you ever been suspended?
No.
What about in the principal's office?
Questioning in the principal's office, but not because I've done anything bad. So no.
Yeah,
You?
I was never suspended. I was in the principal's office, I think, once in high school, and we kind of played a trick on a teacher of ours, and I think she was complaining about having to do jury duty, and so we snuck into another room and prank called her, pretending to be the judge or whatever, and she wasn't pleased with us. So
what did you say to her?
we got, well, something about there was a problem with her application for jury duty and that it was an urgent matter. And so she was freaking out and was going to call the court administrator or whatever. We're like, no, don't call him. And mad at us, but
troublemaker, Andy.
Happened. So
I love that.
Okay, I got another graduation question for you. If you could, would you go back, if even for a day or two?
For sure. I think 1,000%. I'd go back. You know what it's like. Just when you reminisce, it's like I 1,000% would. Would you?
I would. I kind of a couple of years ago had a little bit of a chance to go back for a couple of days. Our high school choir director, who was really a big part of my life growing up, she was retiring, and she invited all the alumni back they had 2 concerts, Sunday night and Monday night. So I invited everyone to come over the weekend and then come to choir on Monday. And I mean, it was really, really cool. And I'm really glad. I was kind of dreading it going up there because it's like, oh, it's one more thing. Real estate's busy, family.
Yeah.
Even to go, like run through the halls of your high school, like John Mayer says, right? And even the principal was a girl that I went to school with too. And so it's like, wow, just to see all of the changes.
Crazy. Did you ever run crushers or 35s?
Of course.
I want to go back and see if I can finish one in 35 seconds. I think I could.
I don't think you have to go back to do it. I think you could do it at home or at a gym.
Where? I don't know. But it's
right? Out on your street? Out at the lake?
Yeah, I don't have a basketball court to run on.
You've got gravel.
Yeah, that's not the same. Run on gravel.
Sure you can.
How do I know the distance? Measure.
Anyway, stop making excuses, and if you want to do it, just go do it.
Okay.
You're pretty resourceful. Let's see. Did you ever skip school?
No, you? Of
Yes.
course you did.
Generally for good reasons, but I was a pretty good student. But
Yeah.
and actually, usually I'd be helping another teacher. We'd have something going on with choir or whatever else, and
Uh-huh.
so I did. Let's see, a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap up. Do you still have your yearbook?
Yes. Yep.
And you could go get it right now?
Yeah, I know where it's at.
I have
Yeah.
no idea where mine's at. My mom probably threw it away as they were. I might have it. I've got a couple tubs, but
Yeah.
did you follow your career? The career that maybe you were thinking of when you graduated?
Truthfully, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. All I knew was I was going to go to college and figure it out. So, I mean, no,
What kind
not
of-
really.
I mean, you were working in banking already, so
Yeah, I think it was just one of those things where I'll continue working in banking and see what happens. And that just led me to stay and go get my business degree. So, what about you?
kind of, yeah. I mean, I think funeral service. Well, wait. What was the question? Yes, I did follow my career though I retired early. Because yes, funeral service was pointed out for me. I ended up going that route, but I don't do that anymore.
You know, it's one of those things where I'm assuming not many people did, but
Who knows? Kayla, do you still have your high school class ring?
yep. Do you?
I never got one.
Was it the Jostens guys that came in?
Yes,
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
the Jostens guys. They were so cute.
I'm pretty sure I also ran a mobile DJ business at the time, and I'm fairly certain I talked my parents into giving me money to buy like a new rack for my dual CD player or whatever.
Oh my gosh. I don't need a class ring. That's
Right.
awesome.
Who is your favorite teacher?
Well, in high school,
Yes.
probably Mr. Greendahl because he was just easy on us and he taught gym. You? Do you remember?
What was he? Was he an in shape gym teacher?
Yeah, I mean, he played college basketball and he was our basketball coach. So, yeah, he's a big dude.
I saw something online the other day, and it said that I knew education was absolute fraud when I learned that all the teachers in school had never run any businesses or done anything other than teach their whole life, and because my gym teacher was fat.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite teacher, Darcy Reese. She was our choir teacher. She was my favorite.
Of course.
Yeah, really awesome. So.
What's that?
Kayla, let me see, just a couple more questions. Who is your, let's see, favorite restaurant?
In high school?
Yeah, in high school.
Dude, I'm from Walhalla. Wait, what
All
did you
right.
say?
All right, enough said. I said, were there even any restaurants in
I mean, there was the diner and the cafe. So the diner,
Chalet at Crossfire Mountain?
I would never went up there, but
Okay, bad question. High school hair.
what about it?
Did you have good hair in high school?
Yes, I had very long, thick, brown hair. It was beautiful. And then I moved to college and dyed it blonde, and now I need hair extensions. So, what about you?
I mean, my hair was maybe lighter, a little bit more blonde when I was younger. Now I get a little bit gray, among other things. So,
Yeah, wisdom.
what perfume did you wear in high school?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think it was like a Britney Spears something or another, like a blue bottle.
Like Clinique Happy or something like
Oh
that?
my gosh, memory unlocked. Yeah, my sisters had that. I can't. Oh my goodness. Do you remember like sunflowers? Do you remember that one? I think.
I don't know that.
Do you remember Pomida?
Yeah, of course.
There was a Pomida, and that's where we'd get our. But I don't remember. Do you remember?
I still wear the same thing I wore then today.
What do you wear?
Abercrombie Fierce.
You do?
I do.
Dude, that's like my favorite smell in the whole world. And also, the fact that they still have that is amazing because they still also have 8
Excellent.
women's perfume.
What was the women's one called?
8.
8. Okay, I think I do remember that.
I wore that in college, and I still have some at home.
Nice.
Wow, great questions. Any others you got?
No, I don't think so.
I was trying to think of one random one. What's the craziest thing? Something someone wouldn't guess about you from high school? Something you did or were or thought or
Rephrase that question. Say it one more time.
like what's something that someone might not know about you from high school or that you did or something crazy.
I think those that would have known me in college and known that I love to be very social would probably not have guessed if I told them that I didn't drink in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
something.
that's not a bad thing. I think
No.
I didn't really drink in high school because it's small town and I didn't want to get caught and lose my volleyball or basketball opportunities. So yeah, same.
Right.
Gosh,
A lot of years ago, Kayla.
what a time.
Coming up on 21 years ago. So,
Man, guess we got to get more Botox.
as we wrap up today, what's a piece of advice that you can give somebody graduating right now?
Say yes as much as you can right now. I know it sounds like there's going to be a point in your life where you're going to want to slow down or want to say no. And you just never know how one person can change your life. One call, one conversation. Now is the time to just say yes to life. If you can, you just never want to have regrets. So also, if a boy doesn't call you back, don't call him back. Just let him be. So, Andy.
I like that. I think the biggest thing is kind of to piggyback off of your say yes, and I had just written this in a grad card to someone else, is take on as many opportunities as possible. I mean, so no matter what direction you go, whether you're going to a 4-year college, a 2-year school, or something in between, seek out as many opportunities as possible. Even if you think it's a bad opportunity, it really is a good opportunity in the form of experience. Because if nothing else, it just teaches you maybe what you don't want to do. That's probably the biggest piece. And then really focus on relationships. Your network is your net worth. You can never have enough relationships. Don't take the academic piece too seriously. In my mind, a lot of the academics are fairly worthless. Going back to the example of the PE teacher and a lot of teachers in general. But really focus on relationships and the social piece.
I would 100% agree with that as well. Is you just never know also like who you're going to work with one day or who's going to be your boss or who, is going to be on your team, and treat everyone with respect. You just never know what the future holds. Be nice, be kind to everybody.
Happy graduation.
Happy graduation. Put that on a bumper sticker.
And if you're looking for a great lender or a great agent, you know where to look.
Right here, no further.
Well, that wraps up episode 108. We'll call it the graduation edition. Have a great rest of the week, Kayla.
I will if you will. Bye, Andy.